I got asked this question a few minutes ago. Teddy, should I do a LinkedIn recommendation for someone if they ask me? And I thought, you know what, this would be a good time to have a conversation about LinkedIn recommendations. So your LinkedIn recommendations are down here near the bottom of your, right below skills and above publications. And you can see in recommendations, here's the ones that you received and here's the ones that you have given. Now, a couple points about the power of LinkedIn recommendations. This is what's called social proof. It is where other people speak about you and your skills and your accomplishments, your successes, your knowledge, etc., etc. It's where other people say, you know what you're doing. And social proof is a big part of branding. And so the more deliberate you are at getting LinkedIn recommendations that include your keywords, include the phrases and terms that resonate with your target audience, so that it helps elevate your LinkedIn profile in searches. And when people read your recommendations, they are, for lack of a better word, impressed, relevant to who you are and what you do, relevant to them. Now, how do we ask for a LinkedIn recommendation? Well, we can hit the plus button right here and we can ask for a recommendation. And then we select someone we want to ask for a recommendation from. So I'm going to use Randy Wooden. And here he is here. And I'm going to hit continue. Now, I get to say what is our relationship? Managed directly. He managed me. I managed him. We were senior, etc., etc. Let's see, worked within different groups, worked within different companies, etc., etc. So what you choose, whatever the right relationship is. You can also, as of mid 2022, you can connect a recommendation to a specific job entry or experience entry on your LinkedIn profile. Now, here's the magic. The magic is for you to ask, in this case, Randy, for a recommendation. But you pretty much want to script out what he is going to write a recommendation for you about. Now, here's an example. I'm a LinkedIn strategist, trainer, and coach. People find me because they do a search for LinkedIn training. People find me because they do a search for Sales Navigator training. So I'm going to ask Randy, if I'm going to ask him for recommendation, I'm going to say words to him that, let me script one out. Give me a minute, I'll write it. So here's an example of what I would say to Randy in regards to asking him to write me a LinkedIn recommendation. I'm going to speak to what I did and the value I provided to them. I'm going to use my keywords, in this case LinkedIn training or Sales Navigator training, in my messaging. I'm going to speak to their response to me or what I heard from them or heard back from them in regards to what I did. I'm not going to assume I created this value. I'm going to refer to what I heard from him or his people or his company. I'm going to refer to real measurement, if I can, real ability to clarify the value that I provided for them. And then I'm going to end it with, if you agree with this that I've written, would you write me that recommendation? Be purposeful about what you ask for. Be purposeful about using the words that you would like for them to use in your LinkedIn recommendation, keywords that resonate with your target audience. And only ask someone who you know you can. By the way, I will often pre-qualify that I have permission to ask Randy for a recommendation before I send this to him. And then I will script it out in that context, very clearly asking him for a recommendation regarding the value that I provided for him. And then I'll hit send. Now, by the way, never give a LinkedIn recommendation with the intent of getting one back. That's called tit for tat, and really it is not the best way to manage your LinkedIn recommendations. It really is pretty transparent that when you do that, each of you are trying to help the other. So I wouldn't do that. Be pretty purposeful about giving LinkedIn recommendations. Here's the way you give a recommendation. Right here, the process is to basically find the person, select the relationship, the position at the time, and then write a recommendation. And again, I would write a recommendation as meaningful for the person you're giving the recommendation to, similar to what you would hope others would do for you. LinkedIn recommendations are an important part of your social proof. And when you're asked to give a recommendation, again, don't do it tit for tat. Don't ever write a LinkedIn recommendation for someone that you have not worked with and you cannot verbally in a conversation with others repeat that recommendation. In other words, be totally transparent. And remember that LinkedIn recommendations are indexed by both LinkedIn and Google, so it elevates your search appearances when your LinkedIn recommendations are keyword rich. I'm Teddy Burriss, your LinkedIn Sales Navigator strategist, trainer, and coach, and I hope this is helpful for you.